Today on the bench, I'm going to tie you up the Tequila Booby. If you're going to sight fish shallow water Morrow Flats, this fly is a must. Make sure you have these materials ready before you tie the fly. We'll use a size 8 or 10 scud hook to tie on, some 6/0 light Cahill thread to tie with, some pink polar flash for the tail, some medium round foam eyes for the eyes, some yellow Fritz for the back body, and some orange Fritz for the front body. To start the fly off, I've tied on my thread, as I always do. I've kept the thread close to the eyelet, and now what I'm going to do is lay on the foam for the eyes right at the front, and just wrap it in and figure 8 around the foam to form 2 foam eyes on this fly. And you want to make sure these eyes stay fairly big. We'll trim them down a little bit later. Now that the eyes are tied in, I've moved my thread to the rear of the hook, and I've taken a small clump of my polar flash, and now I'm just going to wrap it forward and tie it in nice on the hook, and then I'll trim it a little later to size, and we don't want it much more than a ½ inch long. Now that the tail is tied in, I've got my yellow Fritz, and I've just stripped off the end just to make sure I'm down to the fibers, and just grab it onto the hook, tie it back right to the tail, and then we'll take a few wraps forward just to form the back part of the body. And again, just a few wraps, and only go halfway up the hook. Now that the yellow Fritz is tied into the back of the hook, I'm going to take my orange Fritz, and I'm going to go right up behind the eyes, wrap back about halfway down the hook, wrap the thread back to my eyelet, and then again, only take a couple of wraps. And as you wrap this Fritz, just make sure you pull it back and tie it in right behind the eyes. Now that the orange Fritz is tied in, we're going to whip finish right behind the eyes. And then after we whip finish, what we're going to do is take our scissors and just trim the eyes so they're nice and round. We're just going to cut off the edges and form some nice round eyes. So there it is, the finished Tequila Booby. As I mentioned on the intro, if you're going to fish some Morrow Flats, this fly is a must-have. And remember, short, quick strips, very effective. To watch all our latest Sport Fishing on the Fly episodes and to order Sport Fishing on the Fly merchandise, head to www.sfotf.ca. And if you would like to book an adventure like this one shown, head to ontheflyadventures.ca and book yourself the trip of a lifetime.